You know, guys, as time goes by, right, millions of gamers have started to play Call of Duty, where it's no longer becoming a niche, right? So we're having an influx of highly skilled players coming into the scene. And now a lot of our first gen players who have been playing COD ever since 2003 are now becoming adults, are now maturing. They're coming to the point where a lot of aspects in their life is now limiting the amount of time you actually get to play the game. Whether you're a gamer who had to put their focus on their career to make sure that they continue growing in their job to make money, whether you're a blue collar gamer who just got off a 12-hour shift and you just want to try and relax and play Call of Duty, or you're that stay-at-home parent trying to take care of the home, trying to take care of the kids, and out of all the things that you have to do throughout the day, a lot of us gamers nowadays, especially the first gen, and I'm included, you know, we don't have the time anymore like we used to. So if you're that gamer and this description fits you, let me give you a simple settings video that is going to have a simple explanation on how to improve your aim in any way possible with the limited time that you have to actually play the game. But before we get into the settings, I just want to add two disclaimers, and this is for both our casual and hardcore players. So truth number one, there is no specific aim meta settings video that is going to work for all players. When you look at these videos that these creators make, including myself, we're only talking about settings that we've used the most and that we've worked with the most. So if anything, these settings are catered to the most ourselves. Something that might work for me may not necessarily work for you. So what I want you to take from this video is learn all the definitions of the aim settings videos, understand the importance of why these settings work for me, and try to cater those, change the values, change the layout to something that works better for you. And the only way that you're going to do that is through repetition and practice. And truth number two is there is no need to keep watching aim setting videos every month, every other month. Call of Duty does not change anything specifically to how strong the aim assist is, to, you know, how much lock on that your aim does have on your ADS. None of that. The last thing that Activision announced that wanted to change aim settings is going from a 1 to 20 scale in your horizontal and vertical sensitivity to now a 1 to 10, where in between, instead of saying 1 2 3 4 5 6 all the way up to 20, it's like 1.1 1.2. So I guess they shortened the value, but they added micro changes in between each value that you can adjust to. So like I said, guys, I want to keep this video short and easy to understand for casual gamers who want to improve their aim. If you want to go into something more detailed, there are a lot of other YouTube creators who go into a more advanced detail of their aim settings video. But to be honest with you guys, there really isn't much more details that you can get into these aim settings videos. So I'm going to start off by just listing everything that I have for my aim settings and explain to you why I have these values for each of the aim settings. So starting with a simple one, button layout, we're going to keep the default, the horizontal and vertical, with horizontal being at 1.5 and vertical being at 1.2. And then moving on to our dead zones, on the left stick minimum we are at 2, left stick max at 75, right stick's minimum at 2, right stick max at 80. And don't worry, like I said, I'll explain the importance of these values after this. Both trigger sensitivities are going to be at 1. Moving on to my aim response curve type, that's going to be at dynamic with aim response curve slope scale at 1.0. And the last but not least, we have an ADS sensitivity multiplier set at 0.90. Alright, that's it for our aim settings video. This is going to give you 1000% aimbot functionality with aim assist at full max. Thank you for coming, like and subscribe. God, how pissed would you guys be if I baited you in a video like that? Anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, so horizontal and vertical sense, the reason why I want to keep it low is lower is better, especially if you're a casual gamer, right? You don't have your control, you don't have your specific muscle memory to work in max sense. A lot of players, they like to say, oh, go straight to max sense, that's going to give you the best aim. No, you're going to be shooting all over the place. I don't get why people tell you that. Maybe if you're an advanced controller player and you want to step up your game because you're going to the pro scene or Warzone wager scene, okay, whatever, that's totally fine. But if you're just a casual gamer that wants to heighten your edge, stay low, work from low, pull up from there. But you'll notice, right, the horizontal sense is going to be higher than the vertical sense. Reason being is because with horizontal, you're moving left and right. Majority of the time, you are not going to be fighting in vertical fights. Sure, you're going to have to look up and down, but at the speed that you want, it can be a lot more lower than your horizontal. Horizontal stick sensitivity, if you keep it too low, you're going to be outplayed by movement demons, the guys who like to slide cancel left and right. So ideally, yes, start low, but start to increase that as much as you can. But you know, that's something that you have to do over time. Even for me, I've been playing controller for about almost a year so far, and I only went from a 1.2 horizontal to now a 1.5. Now moving on to the dead zones. Now I know dead zones sounds complicated and it sounds confusing. Let me simplify dead zones for you. Okay, dead dead zones is literally the amount of pressure that you push on your thumbsticks before that input registers into the game. So if you have a lower dead zone, you can literally nudge your stick and it's going to move the character at an extreme rate. And if you have a higher dead zone, that means you literally have to push your stick all the way up, all the way down in order to get that registered input. Ideally, higher dead zones are not going to work for most players. So knowing this, right, I recommend to have both sensitivities low on dead zones, because on your left stick is movement. So with this, you want to get it low, because even when you're standing still, you want to be able to nudge left and right to strafe, 1 to control horizontal recoil, and 2 to keep rotational aim assist active. I don't know if you noticed this, but if you're trying to stand still and trying to aim at an individual at a long range, the aim assist isn't as strong compared to when you're strafing left or right, or even moving along with a player trying to shoot, because you have rotational aim assist active. But with your right stick sensitivity, it is going to be different for a lot of players. A lot of players, sometimes they're heavy on their thumbs on the right aim, so that means when you're heavy on the thumb, you don't know how to micro push it down. If you find yourself struggling and you're like constantly pulling it down very hard, then I recommend having a higher dead, because at least when you have a higher deads on your right stick, the harder you pull down, you're still only doing a micro input rather than a bigger input. A lot of players will overshoot their target because they're too heavy on their right stick. When you have more practice and you can learn to be softer on your right stick thumb, that's when you can bring your dead zone sensitivity lower. And then this is for my players who only run stock controllers, okay? Left trigger and right trigger sensitivity, bring that bad boy all the way down to 1. Reason being is because now when it's all the way down to 1, your right triggers, your left and right triggers will now feel like mouse clicks. You don't have to get a pro controller or custom controller like Scuff to get that mouse click capability. COD fixed that for you by being able to add sensitivities for your left and right trigger. You gotta at least like and subscribe now, because that just saved you $200 from buying a pro controller. Okay guys, don't laugh, but this is the best way I can visually explain the difference between the aim response curve types. So right, you have standard, linear, and dynamic, and I chose dynamic. Now standard is with your aim, the way that you move on your stick, think of it as like a punch, right? If you move on your stick, it goes a regular punch speed. It doesn't matter how much you flick the stick, how light you flick the stick, how heavy, right? The punch speed is going to be the same. Punch speed being your aim movement. Now, moving on to linear, linear is just like standard. You move the sticks, it's going to give you that punch speed. But if you push the sticks harder, your punch goes faster, right? Soft hit, slower punch. Hard hit on the sticks, faster punch, faster aiming. Now, dynamic is a little bit different. Dynamic is weird. I don't know. It works for me. Try it out, see if it works for you. But dynamic is reverse from what standard is. Like I said, standard was going from regular speed, going slow to hit. Dynamic is the opposite. It goes fast and then it slows down on your hit. This is for players who want to utilize movement quick, right? They want to be quick their movement, but have their aim slow down when they need to. So let me know in the comments below, guys, if that was a good visual example. If it's not, let me know. I would love to. That way I don't keep showing this example in the videos, okay? Now moving on to my ADS Sense Multiplier, and that's set at 0.90. Let me talk to you about that one. All right, so a lot of people also don't understand what the ADS Sensitivity Multiplier is. So what it is if you ever notice with controller, anytime that you get close to a target, you'll notice a slowdown. So for example, you're moving at regular speed, boom, you see that slowdown, and then it goes fast again. Ready? Boom, slow down, then it goes fast again. That's not me adjusting my sticks. It's literally just when I get close to the target, it slows it down. This slowdown area is your aim assist bubble. Now, it doesn't matter what you choose, linear, dynamic, blah, blah, blah. The aim assist bubble will stay the same. Whether you're doing regular aim or rotational aim assist, it is going to be within this bubble. So I guess the way to measure it is take your player model, maybe go out 1 foot, maybe 1.5 foot. That is your aim assist bubble. And that's where your ADS sensitivity multiplier comes into play. The higher ADS sensitivity, the faster you move within this bubble. The lower your ADS sensitivity, the slower you move. That's why if you bring it really low, you're gonna find yourself getting onto the aim assist bubble, but taking forever to actually get on target. That's why people miss their shot when they bring it too low. So if you bring it too high, you'll end up moving past the target. Like you're not even going to feel aim assist anymore because of how fast your ADS sensitivity multiplier is. So find a sweet spot. I recommend maybe starting at 0.8 to 0.85 that is going to give you enough slowdown where you can recorrect the most and stay accurate on your target even when the player is moving. Right now for me, since I've been playing on controller for about 6+ months, right, I'm more used to controlling my aim. So I still want that speed and aim, but I want it to slow down properly where I can lock into target. I'm at 0.90. So just put into perspective, right? I went from 0.8 to 0.9 just using it after 6 months. So like I said, this is over time adjustment. This is not something you try out for 1 week and then you switch over and you go up like 10-point values the next week. And that's the main purpose for my aim assist settings. It's not to give you aimbot, it's not to give you the perfect aim lock, it's to give you all the settings to help you get within this bubble and stay within this bubble. That way you can trace your players better, you can aim at your players better, because you're utilizing aim assist the most. And you know, for people who want to argue about controllers using too much aim assist, it's true, it's correct, but that's what controller players have. And if you have that with your controller, utilize that to your advantage in this game. But if anything, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy the content, if you did learn something today, please drop a like to the video, drop a sub to the channel. I would love to have you here for continued videos. If anything, stay pure, stay noble, and hashtag bring back honest gaming. Noble out.